Well, hello, and welcome to the gojenn Planner Podcast. Today is Sunday, December 27th, 2015, and I am your hostess with the mostest, gojenn, also known as Jennifer. If you are one of my regulars, I apologize for missing you last week. I am going to talk a little bit about what was I doing instead of being the good podcaster and planner that I am. So anyway, Christmas was 2 days ago, so now we've gone from saying Happy Holidays and Merry Christmas to saying, well, have a good New Year, I'll see you next year, kind of thing. So this will probably be the last podcast for this year, and I'm thinking about doing a look back at 2015. So I'll see if that ever gets done. But otherwise, I won't see you all until next year. Wow, sounds like a long time, but it's just a week. Okay, so let's see what's been going on. The last time I talked to you for an actual podcast, Plannercast, I had just finished this red sweater for one of my dogs, and there is Bella modeling it. Such a beautiful model. And then I finished this green sweater. I ran out of the green yarn for the band that goes behind the front legs. That helps it keep it from being just a cape that flies around and would twist and tangle up. So I just did that in some other colorful yarn that I had. It's going to be on the dog's tummy, so nobody's going to see it anyway. And here is Lucky modeling that for everybody. Okie doke. In other crafting, I made this. It's an origami zentangling Christmas ornament. And I followed the instructions I found on a YouTube video, and this made me very happy that it came out so pretty. And it included my zentangles, which really make me happy, so I'm hoping to be able to do some more of these next year. I just got one done this year, but I really enjoyed myself. After I finished the dog sweaters, what little crafting I've done, I did these 2 sock yarn blanket squares. So always trying to add to the stack of blanket squares. This is where I was instead of podcasting. This is my husband, and this was last Friday, December 18th, and a week ago, last Friday. He is diabetic and had not been taking good care of himself, had not been giving himself his shots like he's supposed to, but he hadn't bothered to tell me, of course, and he thought he was doing just fine. And then he, from one thing and another, he wound up with acute diabetic ketoacidosis. And we took him to the emergency room and in the town where we live, and they sent us to the ICU in Greensboro, North Carolina, which had a better ICU. And so this is 2 days later when they'd taken out the breathing tube and the tube that went to his stomach. So he was feeling a lot better. And I thought he looked just great this day, but that was because he'd looked so bad before. But he continued to improve. See, I thought we just looked great. And then on the 23rd, I was able to bring him home from the hospital. So that just really, really made me happy to do that. And it made the dogs happy when he got home, too. It was cause for celebration. Although he still feels really weak, and if we do anything, he has to come home and lay down and rest, because his body is having to adjust to a new, more appropriate level of sugar in his blood. So I appreciate I got a lot of messages of comfort, and I really appreciate it. Think he's out of the woods, but we've got long ways to go as far as keeping the sugar balanced and everything. And this was Christmas morning at my daughter's house, and my husband says if it hadn't been for her and all the prayers being answered, he wouldn't be here today. She is a registered nurse, and when he was unresponsive on that Friday, I called my daughter and I said, I don't know what I'm going to do with him. He's just acting crazy. Because I thought he had a stomach virus, but he didn't. And she came over and she said, I'm going to call 911 now. And that's when I realized things were really bad. But anyway, we were able to bring him home for Christmas and have a really great holiday. Of course, my grandson on Christmas morning, just as mischievous as always. So, with all that being done, let's look at my planner flip through. This is where I left everybody. It was back on December the 13th. And I have had a good time journaling. I have tried to incorporate more, I don't know, kind of cutesy things in my journaling. I've been looking at the YouTube channel of Ms. Cendalife. It's MSCENDALIFE. And her pages are so absolutely gorgeous. I would really like to incorporate more the way she does her pages, which hers are always after the fact, I think, and mine tend to be forward looking. So I don't know, somewhere in there, I would like to find a happy medium for me. I would have thought I would have journaled more while I was at the hospital, but if I was with my husband, I was watching him, and if I was in the waiting room, I was asleep because I would just nod off constantly. I wasn't getting enough sleep. I did keep up with my Lister's Got a List, and so that, that was something, and then we were able to bring him home. I tried to be pretty with my journaling on those days, but also to keep track of what had happened. I decided I was going to finish up my Lister's Got a List because some of the prompts I had already answered. Some of them I have been thinking about, like my 2016 goals. The main one is to be calm. I want to continue the podcast. I want to continue my reading, my art practice, the zentangles. I need to get more sleep. And I'm thinking my word for 2016 is breathe. Because if I can stay calm and take a breath, most of the time things will work out. And so I only have enough days left in my journal for one page per day. So I've had to kind of ration them out because I guess this was a really wordy month. And I didn't do any crafting while my husband was sick. And I had friends say, well, at least you can craft or you can crochet while you're in the hospital. But I really couldn't. My mind was not such that I could concentrate on anything. I wasn't able to read, or my journaling is all jumbled because I guess of the anxiety and the stress of having everything going on. I wasn't able to do any crafting until after we got him home and after Christmas. So that doesn't make me sad that I didn't craft for those days. It just serves to remind me how important it is that I get things done. And I'm really glad that I do have that. And this is my Zentangle journal. I just did some random kind of things. Haven't done any of challenges or anything like that. And since I'm running out of pages in my journal, I've decided to put some lists in the back of my art journal. So I got to write my list down or else I just don't function. So this is my December. I want to make sure I don't forget what a crisis we had. And so anytime I look back, I want to be able to find it easily. And my January and February look so calm. I'm sure we'll fill that up with more doctor's appointments as we continue to get his sugar settled at a more normal rate. But so far it looks just really nice and calm. And this is my planner from the 14th of December. I tracked the things I had ordered when they came in, and I've been trying to keep track of my overtime, which that got messed up when my husband went in the hospital because, of course, I wasn't working overtime. I would work my 8 hours straight through and then drive. It's about a 45-minute drive to the hospital, then stay with him a couple hours, and then drive home. And so I'm really glad to be home and everything be calm now. And I'm still keeping up with my habit tracker. This makes me much happier to have it all on one sheet of paper so that when the month is over, I'm just going to put it in with my journal, and it'll be there if I ever want to look back on anything. And it's not taking up the 5 or 6 lines on each individual week. So that's much better. As far as books go, I finished The Short and Tragic Life of Robert Peace, a brilliant young man who left Newark for the Ivy League. And it's by Jeff Hobbs. And Jeff Hobbs was Robert Peace's roommate in college. And it was a very good story. It was a biography of the young man and the troubles and trials that he had being from a very poor family in Newark to being around all the wealth and educated people there. So it was a very good book. Of course, it ends sadly. I mean, you can't look at that title and not know that it's going to end badly. So now I'm reading Robert Galbraith's Career of Evil. It's the third Cormorant Strike novel, and this is J.K. Rowling's pen name that she's writing these mysteries under. Very, very good. Really enjoying it. And here we go. Holiday Planning 2016. It's never too early. I think, think back. Was there somebody that made a comment at any of your gatherings and to where they said, oh, I wish I had a blank when somebody else opened something or something like that, make a note of these things, and then when next year's Christmas comes by, you'll be ready for it. I did get the Tangle It planner for 2016. It is just a fill-in boxes. There's lots and lots of Zentangle patterns, and then you practice them, and then there are challenges. So I'm not going to use it as a planner per se. I'm going to use it more as a Zentangle workbook. But it is very nice. I also got this Fauxmidori, which is the 5.5 by 8 inch size, and I got an insert that goes in it that is for cataloging the Zentangles patterns. And I've been looking for something like this because right now I have patterns on index cards, and that's just not working out because it's just not working out. So this is going to be an ongoing project to organize and keep the different types of zentangles, so that when I can want to look something up, I can just flip through and hopefully find it. We'll see. So what's coming in 2016? I am planning my next owl for the Harry Potter Knitting and Crochet House Cup. I think I'm going to do an Afghan for a potions owl, which potions requires lots of colors or color work. So I'm planning on making a big colorful Afghan, which will probably be gifted to someone next Christmas. So I like to do that, and also I still have quite a stash of acrylic yarn that I used to use almost. That was the only thing that I used before I found how nice it is to work with some more luxury and quality wool yarns. I was only using the acrylics. So I'm going to go back, pull out my tub of yarn that I have left over, see if I'm missing some colors and order some. But then I want to be ready to start with an owl the 1st of January. I will probably be using different patterns for each square, because I like to do that. It's not as boring, because it really does get boring if you make the same pattern, say 15 times of the same 12-inch square. So I'll probably use 15 different patterns. So I've got to pick out the patterns, I've got to check my yarn, and things like that. I apologize, my dogs are jingling their dog tags quite a bit here. They're playing next to me. Okay, that is close to that. I may, like I said, do the retrospective of 2015. I'm not sure. But I will be here next Sunday with your podcast. I'm hoping that we don't have any more emergencies. And so you can find me as gojenn, Gojenn, on Ravelry and Instagram, and here on YouTube. Just leave a comment below, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe. Until I see you next week, next year, I wish you much love and laughter.